The Story of the Wooden Horse, as retold by Rich Millett. The war at the city of Troy between the Argives and the Trojans had been going on for a very long time, but Argives' army had been beaten at every angle. Calchas summoned the heroes to an assembly. In short, he said that they could not overtake Troy by force alone, and that they must achieve victory by craft. When Calchas finished speaking, the heroes thought of some scheme to win this war, but to no avail. After hours of heroes racking their brains, Odysseus had a brilliant idea. His idea was to build an enormous wooden horse with as many of the bravest Argives it would hold. They would sail all the ships to the island of Tenedos and burn all their camps so it looked like a retreat. One of the soldiers would be picked that the Trojans wouldn't know by sight, to go to the walls of Troy, pretending to be a fugitive, and tell them that he had escaped the Argives, who were going to slaughter him in order to ensure a safe trip home. He will say that he hid under the wooden horse, which the Argives dedicated to Pallas Athene, an enemy of the Trojans. The soldier must be believable so he will kill any suspicions the Trojans had. They would feel sorry, bring him and the horse into the walls of the city. While the Trojans sleep, the soldier will give them a sign, and they would rush out of the horse and signal to the fellow soldiers on the island of Tenedos. Then they would burn the city with fire and sword. One might have expected laughter from the crowd, but instead everyone praised Odysseus' inventiveness, and there was even a sound from heaven, which signified the approval of Zeus. Just when the Argives were getting up to go build the most deadly weapon of this war, the son of Achilles stood up and said that real men faced their opponents in open warfare. This was a rather bold statement, and even Odysseus was mildly impressed. But once again Odysseus made a mini-speech and talked everyone back into his way. Still, Poeas' son sided with Achilles' son. To show his anger, Zeus threw lightning, and thunder shook the earth. Reluctantly, the two rejoined. While some men returned all the ships, the men who were going to go inside of the horse slept. The next morning the Argives began cutting the timbers and saw them. First they made the feet, then the belly, back, mane, eyes, etc. It only took 3 days to complete. The Trojans remained quietly behind their walls. Odysseus gave final instruction before climbing into the horse. He said he only wanted the strongest and bravest men in the horse. The rest would sail the ships. Odysseus wanted one fearless volunteer for the job to play the fugitive. Finally Sinon stepped forward, and after some motivational speeches from fellow soldiers, they got into the horse. It didn't take long for the Trojans to smell the smoke in the air. They peered from their towers and saw ships sailing away. While only a few suspected something, everyone else rejoiced. Then they found the great wooden horse. The Trojans stood in awe of its construction. Others said to burn it or to throw it into the sea. The Trojan high priest Apollo made his way through the crowd. Before he even got near the horse, he cried out,
"What folly, what madness is this? Do you think the Danai have really sailed? You know, Odysseus, some danger lurks in that horse."
Sinon then said that the Trojans had banished him and that he would surely die. Fortunately, Sinon was very persuasive, and they believed him. Apollo prayed to Poseidon for guidance. Late into the night, the Trojans feasted and partied, and Sinon even feasted with them. Sinon pretended to be very drowsy and left the party. He knocked on the belly of the horse to signal to the soldiers. The Argives broke open the belly of the horse and started killing the wounded laying on the streets. The partiers soon caught on, and a battle was in full swing. Stones, torches, and spears were the main weapons. During the battle, wounded on both sides begged to be killed. The battle raged on, and after huge death counts on both sides, the Argives were victorious.